Welcome back to Jabba'S Bricks and another episode of building Jabba'S Palace, and it's all changing the Lego room. So the mock has been moved over to this side of the room, Gotham City's been moved over to the right hand side. We can walk all the way around this table and the floor is now clear. So all the Lego pieces that need sorting are in those boxes down there ready to be sorted. What we're going to do today, we're going to put a row of 32 by 32 base plates along here. Originally I was going to put 48 by 48s, however I don't think it needs to be that wide, and obviously by using slightly smaller, it's less plates I'm going to be using for something that's just going to be sand, so it's not going to take anything away from the mock. What I'm going to do then, I'm going to be building up the mountainside on here, or the support for it. We might be using some burps purely for the support side of it, so they won't actually be looking like burps on here. Refuse to have them looking like that, and also they're the wrong colour. So we're going to be doing a lot of structural side on here. We're also going to be coming round to this side here, which I mentioned last week, and we're going to put some tiles in along down the stairs through the corridor here, plate that off, and then we can put the supports across here as well. And then that way we can then start building the supports up on top of here once we've got that sorted. Ideally I'd like to get the lights put in on the hangar as well, and also there are a couple of details inside the hangar I also need to do. So again, before I can put the supports on the top of there, I do need to get that done. So again, that is something that we will hopefully get done in this update. We need some more tan bricks for doing the actual palace itself, so we're going to part out one of the Mos Eisley Cantina sets as well. We've got a fair few bricks there, but it's not going to be anywhere near enough to get done what this mock is, and I don't honestly think I own enough tan bricks to get this mock finished, so I can see that being something that I'm going to have to order as well. But anyway, enough talking, let's get building. And that's the corridor and the stairs all tiled off and plated off there. Next thing up, we need to just put the two doors in here either side, and the door that's going to be sort of like to the Rancor Keeper's quarters. So once we've got all of those done, we can plate all of this off here. So let's get building some doors. And the doors are in. So there's the outer Rancor door. We've then got the door which is in the quarters of the Rancor Keeper, and then we've got another door just there, which is the one that finally goes through to the Rancor housing pen. So now they're all done, we can now concentrate on getting this section all sorted out now. Build that all up, bridge it across, and then we'll be good to go. Last week when we were looking at the pictures for the platform over here, I noticed there are half a dozen cylinders hanging from the ceiling. So what I've done, I've just made my own version up here, and as you can see I've just put a little contraption on the end there so I can get an angle on there, and I'm just going to remove a couple of the tiles from the ceiling and hang those on there just so we've got that little added detail on there. I know there was a lot more than two in the actual hangar, but at least we've got a couple in there just for that little added bit of detail. So yeah, there they are, and I'm pleased with that little added detail that we've added to there. So now we've got those added in, we can now build across the top of the hangar. And the lights are in and working in the hangar there, and also in the hallway just by the entrance to the Rancor pit. So that's all done. Next up, what we're doing is the supports to the roof here, and we'd already had one set of beams going across, however they are sagging a bit because obviously the weight of that roof is quite a lot. So we're just putting a second set of beams across and then attaching another Technic brick just there to hold them all together. We're also putting cross sections across here, which is helping to make it a lot sturdier, so there's a lot less movement on there. And it's these cross ones which are doing the majority of the work, I think, going by sort of like when I push it down, and bits when I haven't already put the cross beams across. So we carry on doing that, get that all sorted out, and once we've done so, we can then start building pillars up and going all the way across here to the throne room. So we're going to make it so it's the same height as we need it for this door to come up. And then that's obviously how high we're going to make the throne room. Once we've done that, we'll then be able to start working out this sort of like the rock formation down the far end there. But anyway, let's get back to finishing this roof off. And we've plated off the top of the hangar. We've used the 16 by 16 plates, or the majority of it is 16 by 16. Obviously that one's not. There is a little bit of movement there, so we've got to be a little bit careful when we're putting the stilts on there, making sure everything is lining up properly. I do think that I've supported it sufficiently in the areas that it's going to need to be supported, but we'll do that part next. work out how much higher. I don't think it's going to need to be much higher, probably another about 8 bricks or so, and then that'll be that side of it done. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to plate this area off here, bring the door up of the rankle pit to make sure I know how high it's got to be, and then we'll work our way across on there. So let's start doing that bit now, and we'll check back in once we've done so. And I thought I'd just show you the progress we're making here. So we've started building all the pillars up there, and this is the height I believe we need to come to. The door for the rankle pit comes up to about there, so that's how high it needs to be. One thing we have got to take into account is the roof for the actual throne room itself. Now this roof needs to be strong enough to take the weight of the buildings on top of it. I don't want it sagging at all. However, in the throne room, with the exception of the booths, there's no actual support going up. So I'm going to need to make sure that we come up with a good strong way of getting that across. So whether that means we've then got to build this up a couple more bricks or not, I'm not sure yet. Originally I was going to plate all of this off, but obviously if I do need to bring that up, or if I do need to make this any higher due to the roof, then I don't want to have to then put bricks on top of the plate and then plate again, so it'll just be a waste of plate. But we'll get all of this built up to start with. Then once we've done that, we'll start concentrating on the palace, and then we'll know where we can go from there. But yeah, it's amazing how quickly this swallows up the filler brick. The amount of bags that I packed up after dismantling the back cave that we got through already is ridiculous. But yeah, anyway, let's get back to building. And the scaffolding is pretty much complete. Just need some 2x8 plates to go across some of the beams across there. I want to put as much as possible on there so that when we're actually plating it off, there's not much give in there, so we can put pressure on it and there's not going to be any problems. We've connected the light cables out here, so that's the extension which will eventually join up with the one down the other end. And the one thing I am a little bit worried about is if there are ever any problems with the lights before the finale, they won't be able to be fixed. There's no way of getting to the lights now. They're all built into this mock, so fingers crossed they will work and there won't be any problems. But yeah, it's all coming on quite nicely. The one thing I'm going to work on now, I originally was going to be working on the palace, building the walls up there, but I need to get the mechanism for the throne to make it go forward and backwards. I need to get that all sorted out. So I'm going to control it, I think, from over here. I think it's going to be the easiest way. It's going to have the least distance for the axles to go. So we're going to try and fit all of that in there. And once we've done that, we can then start building the walls around on this side, and then I can continue to build up the scaffolding on there. One thing that I am considering doing with the palace, some people have been commenting on the light effect that comes through the rankle, from the throne room into the rankle pit, and I totally agree. I think it looks really, really good, and I'm happy with how that's come out. The one problem I've got is this is going to have a roof on it, and then the towers are going to be sat on top of that. So there's not going to be the natural light coming through, or the amount of light coming through that is there at the moment. So what I could do, I could put lights in the throne room. However, again, I'm not sure how much light that's going to sort of like make go down into there. So what I'm considering doing is having it so this roof section here I can take off. So first of all, I'll be able to take the building off of that, then the roof off, and then I'll be able to film inside the throne room and do a better sort of like show people inside of it in the finale. That a little bit easier. So something I'm just considering at this moment in time. The one problem I've got is I don't know how strong I'm going to be able to make the tower, being a cylinder, but we'll have a play, see what we think, and we'll go from there. But it's just an idea at this moment in time, but it'll be interesting to see if it is something we can do. Even if it is just one section here, it'll be something. The mechanism has been started for Jabba'S throne. So we've got yet another axle in the mock just here, and when you rotate it, this one goes all the way down to these cogs here. They rotate those in turn, and this cog here is the one that's going to move the throne. So we're going to have a runner on here, and it's going to go in and out, and that will obviously push and pull Jabba on his seat, or on his throne, sorry, to cover the trapdoor just there. We need to make sure that the runner, when it's retracted, doesn't stick out too far, because obviously we're going to have the mounting coming up there, so we don't want to sort of like make it that it sticks out that much. I'm going to concentrate on getting this area all done, all built up, and getting this mechanism working. I was hoping to start on the throne, the actual room this week. However, I don't think that's going to be happening. It's going to be a case of just getting this structural side all finished, and then next week we will be able to concentrate finally on getting some decent progress made in the throne here. The progress we made on the mock so far has been, I'm really happy with how high up we've got this now. It's all at the right level. All the lights are in, as I mentioned, and I just hope we don't ever have any problems with the lights, because there's no way of fixing them now that they're built under all this. There's no access points which I can get in there to have a look at them. But anyway, let's get back to building these up, and then we can check back in once we've done so. And we've just been having yet more fun with our trapdoor. So we've just been tiling it off, and I knew it was going to be a problem. The tiles were getting caught on the plates, which were preventing it from going down. So we've had to put some snot bricks in and then put some plates over the top of there. So there's a snot brick behind there, then there's a plate, then a tile, and the same on the side. And then that's just enabling us to have that very, very small gap along the edge, which allows it all to go. Which in the scale of things, something was going to have to give, and I'm quite happy with how that's turned out. So now we know that that's all working. We can now concentrate on getting something that runs along this nice and smoothly. Think about using car wheels or something like that on the bottom of the throne so it slides nicely, and just need to make sure that it goes in and out smoothly and it doesn't sort of veer off to the left or right. So let's get to it. So where we've got the Gamorrean guards, that's where the throne is going to be placed. And although it's got wheels on the side, they're not actually doing anything. They don't turn, but they're there anyway. But yeah, we just turn this lever and this will go forward until it gets to the front there. I've put some slopes on the back of the runners to stop it going too far. And then again, it just rotates backwards. And then obviously we've got the trapdoor just there, which will drop down so people fall to their demise. So now we've got that all in place, we can now, as I mentioned earlier, build up all of this section round here and get it all pushed down, and the same behind the palace part there. So I'm going to concentrate on doing that, and hopefully we can get that all done before the end of this update. And the multicoloured brickwork continues. So we're just currently building around the mechanism here which operates the throne that Jabba would be sat on. And one thing I've got to make sure I do is not go too high on here, because obviously there is the bit at the back here where you can walk around the back of Jabba's actual seating area. So I'm just going to leave that for now until I've actually built that part of the throne, and then we'll continue to build up around there. Just looking at it here, part of me thinking we are going to need to go a little bit higher on all of that section, but we'll find out soon enough. So once we've built out to about here, we're then going to continue to build up and across this section just here, and we're going to get to around about that part there, I reckon, and then we'll stop from there. I have received an email today saying that my parts for down there have finally been dispatched by lego.com, so we'll be able to get the other archway in the bottom of that prison cell there, the arches that go the other side of the corridor there as well, and then I can finish this whole area as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, that'll be with me in the next week or so, and then I'll be able to get on with that part as well. And then once that's done, we can get all of the scaffolding, as I call it, all the support structures all put in place, ready for the final effect to go on. But yeah, pleased with the look of it so far. But yeah, let's carry on building. And we're just checking in one final time for this update, and what a week it's been. Didn't do what we were intending on doing, ended up going down a different route from the beginning of the video, but I'm glad we did. So when we started off, I said I wanted to get all of the support down the back done so I could do the rock work. Want to get the corridor all tiled off down here, which we've done. So that's all been done now, and obviously we've built the wall over at the front, and the supports all over the top. Then we did the lights as we wanted to do. Did a couple of the added details inside the hangar and with those little cylinders on the ceiling. And we have lowered that platform as well, so that's all good. But we decided that it was going to be a good idea to get this all over the top of the mock. We got the mechanism all working for this, and again, one of the problems, and it's very similar to this one over here which operates the trapdoor, is that, I mean, if you can see, I'm moving that a lot and it's hardly moving the cog down there, and it's purely because they're all twisting. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is replacing all of these axles down here with smaller ones, and then that will hopefully make that move a lot smoother. So we'll have a play with that. It's not a problem because I won't have to destroy anything to get to it. It's I can get to all of these parts in here easily enough. If I've got to remove that, it's not a problem because, again, they're just pillars, so we can do that quite easily. So next week we will, fingers crossed, have the parts in for here. We've had an email saying that it's been dispatched. The archers go along there and on the prison cell, so that is on its way. I'm going to hopefully either myself or Mrs. W Bricks get to the Lego store in the next few days and get some more of these 2x8 plates, because I'd need probably another couple of cups full, and then I can get all of this support structure all finished all the way around here, and even down the back where the rock work where I was originally going to be doing. And then once we've done that, then we can start putting tan plate on everything and start building the actual rock work up and make it start looking like something from Tatooine rather than a multicoloured mess, basically. So plenty to get on with this coming week, and hopefully as well we will finally put some walls up properly in the actual palace itself. But anyway, hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you can get up to date with any future content on the channel, and please share it with your family and friends. Anyway, thanks for walking by. See you next time. Bye for now.